Thanks for joining us for Khari Free at Last on Bounce 23 TV. I'm Khari and Harold. What is the real history of Christmas? There are those who claim the Christ child was not born on the 25th of December because that day was originally celebrated as a pagan holiday. Let's get this straight once and for all. Was Christ born on Christmas Day? Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host and author Donella Martin Braddock, host and author Ron Mills, and the Reverend John Coates. Reverend Coates, you are a minister of the gospel. Was Jesus Christ born on the 25th of December?
Well, first of all, I'm a minister of the gospel of Jesus Christ, okay? Because there's a lot of gospels floating around. And to answer your question succinctly,
it was about time you was going to get to it.
You know, I'm a preacher. The answer is no. He was not born on the 25th of December. However, the important fact is that he was born.
How you know he was born on the 25th?
Well, first of all, the seasonal conditions that are mentioned in the scripture aren't necessarily coherent with the with the time that
in that area of the world, it could be.
No, it could not be. That's still not the
tradition.
traditions.
You are a minister of the gospel,
yes,
and yet you've been telling me that you've been celebrating a falsehood?
No, I've been telling you that I celebrate the birth of Christ, and I recognize the birth of Christ.
So when was he born?
He was either born in the spring or in the fall.
Either's not good enough. Well, when was he born?
Either's not good enough for you, but the reality is that he was born, and that's what you try to do. You try to put it within a small little box. We know why December 25th was chosen, but it was not the birthday of Jesus the Christ.
Ron Mills is here, Arthur Ron Mills. Ron, Jesus, the preachers have been preaching and celebrating Christmas, having us running around buying gifts and celebrating Christmas, and yet they don't even believe Jesus was born on the 25th. That's a problem to me. I'm a Christian. I got a problem with that.
Well, the first recorded Christmas was 336 AD, and really, Christmas came about because, essentially, the birth of Christ. But they did not know when he was born. They did not know when he was born. You had to look to the Emperor Constantine.
I got that, but that's all beautiful. When was he born?
That's not what the people get in information.
I got to start there.
Wait a minute.
I got to start there to tell you why it was chosen.
When was he born?
I got to start there to tell you when it was chosen and why it was chosen. It's essentially December 25th.
Okay, that's cool. But when was he born?
We don't know.
Oh,
but I got to tell you why it was December 25th
So
chosen.
wait a minute, what are we celebrating if we're celebrating we say the 25th is the birthday of Jesus. Wait a minute. You got to get there quick, son.
If you give me a minute.
I ain't got a minute. Go ahead. Get there.
Okay. It was chosen essentially because Constantine was at one point throwing Christians to the lions, and then he converted to Christianity after a sign. He was going into battle. And he saw a symbol of the cross and the sun, and then in a dream, he had a vision of Jesus also.
He had political reasons for his conversion.
He won the battle.
When was Jesus born?
He won the battle, and because of that, he wanted to celebrate Christmas, but he had to look to what was already out there. Now, this is Roman.
Ron, I'm a simple man.
Romans were pagans.
Ron, I'm a simple man.
The most popular thing out there was pagan holidays.
Ron, I'm a simple man.
And so
wait a minute, hold up. When was Jesus born?
I don't know, but I'm just telling you how Constantine did this.
Wait a minute, hold on a minute. When was Jesus born?
Well, theorists have tried to ascertain when Jesus Christ was actually born. And the thing about it is, you got more theories out there than you've got, you know,
so what do you
religions today. What do I believe?
Yes.
I believe the facts. I believe that it came to be celebrated on December 25th because it originated, sorry guys, but it did originate as a pagan holiday. It was celebrated, the Scandinavian Norsemen celebrated the harvest of Yule.
You're telling me Christians are pagan?
It was a sex and fertility god, and the Yule was a phallic symbol, and also each day was celebrated for 12 days.
Coach,
there were animal and human sacrifices on each of those days with an exchange of gifts
also
on the 25th.
Mithra of the sun god. Mithra of the sun god.
Hold on,
Calm thyself right now in Jesus' name. You know,
Coach, she's saying that your religion is fueled by sexual
Well,
orgies
first
and
of all,
stuff. That's what you said.
let me set the record straight.
Please.
Christians, we believe in fertility and we believe in sex.
It's all in the Bible. It's all in the Bible.
You wouldn't be here, I wouldn't be here if it
begat.
wasn't because of fertility
Right.
and if it
It's
was
all in
because
the
of
Bible.
sex. But we don't worship nor do we celebrate any pagan practices or rituals surrounding fertility or sex. We recognize the wonderment
Actually,
and the majesty of the birth of
Do you
Jesus
hang a
to Christ.
Christmas wreath on your door?
No, I don't.
Okay, do
Because the
you-
Christmas wreath
You gotta
is a
have
sign
some
of the
green.
sun. I don't worship the sun. I worship a living
And you
God.
better not kiss anybody under the mistletoe.
And I don't
because
use a
that's also a pagan
and I don't
ritual.
use a
Right.
mistletoe, nor do I put a
I
Christmas
tell you
tree
what,
up
stay
in
right
my
there.
house. Thank you.
Is it Christ or the money? Up next on Khari Free at Last. Welcome back to Khari Free at Last. What is the real meaning of Christmas? Massive consumerism has blighted what the Christmas season is supposed to stand for. Or has it? Is Christmas about Christ or the money? Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com. Let's start stuff out. TalkTainmentRadio.com host and author Donella Martin Bredix, host and author Ron Mills. I almost said Reverend Ron Mills because you seem like a reverend. And the Reverend, I'd like to roll that out, the Reverend John Coates. Is it about Christ and the money, Reverend Coates?
Well, unfortunately, today I believe it's about the money.
Oh.
It should be about Christ, but unfortunately, everything seems to point that it's about the money. In the Christmas season, you had several different cultures that merged. One was the culture of St. Nicholas, which was a bishop, some say of Russia or of Germany or France, that was like a modern day Robin Hood, if you will, that they stole from the rich and that he did
was
deliver.
what? He was Greek.
He was Greek.
No, well, that's one version. That's one version.
Wait a minute. Then Christmas could be about the money. If y'all have said to me that Jesus was not born on the 25th of December and that you have falsified that date that you are celebrating, help me, I'm preaching
I
now.
can't
It's only
find- I can't-
because
I
it's
can't-
only because of the money,
So-
because
so it is
Christians
about
are
the
bad,
money.
And I can't
bad
find,
advertisers.
And I can't
Who?
find.
Who he
I
is?
can't find. I can't
Christians are
find,
bad
I
advertisers.
Now,
can't
wait a minute,
find.
hold on for a minute. What does that mean Christians are bad? What are you calling this man?
Christians are bad advertisers because
you mean?
right now, Christmas is going through a new evolution right now where it begins November 1st. And they tell you buy.
Money,
But
money, money.
You'll see a little sign every once in a while, poster that says Jesus is a reason for the season because they are not competing with Madison Fifth Avenue. And they're not doing it well because they are doing it darn well.
And I would agree.
So
And I
has
would
Jesus
agree.
been wiped out of the Christmas season, pretty much? Is that what you're saying, Ron?
There might be an evolution where he is gone.
Is he
If
gone?
Christmas is celebrated by Jews, it's celebrated by Hindus, it's celebrated by several cultures because of the tradition that Madison Avenue, as Ron
But
just pointed
Christmas
out,
ain't
has
about
made.
Jesus, is it? Or is it about that
No,
almighty dollar?
it
I
is
have to
supposed to be about
disagree.
Jesus.
No. What is it about? Is it about Jesus or that almighty dollar?
You know, Khari, that's a question you have to ask within your own heart.
Jump in here.
I think Christians are the original marketers. The reason why Christmas was banned.
Marketers of what?
Marketers of Christmas. It wasn't, Christmas was banned in the 13 colonies. It was banned for 200 years in this country. It wasn't until the American Society of Sunday Schoolers, they said, let's lure the people into the church.
And A Christmas
Let's
Carol by
make-
Charles
and so-
Dickens.
exactly.
So
And what
who's-
they did, they
Christmas.
lured kids
So who
with
set
treats.
the 25th of December as being the date of Jesus' birth? Who did this?
Constantine.
In the 4th century.
And who bought into it? Everybody since
No,
then?
they made it
No.
law. They made it law.
Constantine is over in Germany somewhere.
No,
That's not-
he's
that's
in
nothing to do with
Turkey,
America.
actually.
Oh,
but,
Turkey, all right. Close.
But they
Istanbul,
right.
Constantinople.
They made it law. That was made up because that was his strategy.
And so Christmas was so you're telling me, Reverend, that Christmas is essentially a made-up holiday, so therefore it could be about the money.
in the way that we celebrate it now, yes. And it is about
So it
the
never was
Benjamins.
about Christ. Is that
Oh,
what
no,
you're telling me?
it is about Christ. Look, there's
Christ Moss?
there's a term you might not be familiar with, but it's called Advent.
Oh, I've heard of it.
Advent is a Christian celebration
also
of the
ecclesiastical,
birth of Christ. But not only does it deal with the birth of Christ, but the Christmas season or the Advent season has to deal with the anticipation or the hope of the
Yes.
return of Christ, the second coming.
But what's that got to do with the fact that it looks like, Ron, that what we've done is we've created a holiday use religious symbolism to fuel the economics of the holiday. And now it's just
Pagan
all
symbolism.
Yes, pagan. Whoa, I didn't say that now. I said religious. And now it's straight out economics. It's all about the money.
Again, I'm going to go back to Madison, Fifth Avenue are good advertisers, the Christians are not. And they need to step up their game to push their agenda. And the agenda originally was Christ was born,
So
and this is his birthday.
So Jesus has been forgotten, Donella.
Jesus has been forgotten.
I am
if
hurt.
you look at now, we had Black Friday. It's turned into Black Thursday, Cyber Monday. Billions of dollars were spent in this season alone in 2013. So it has become a moneyed holiday, an opportunity to spend
And what are
money.
the preachers doing about it, Reverend Coates?
Well, first of all, I don't think we really celebrate Christmas in the black community.
Whoa.
Because you drive through a white neighborhood during Christmas season, you see people going to church at midnight and on Christmas Day. You go to the black community on Christmas, all the churches are shut down, Christmas Eve, Christmas Day. Black people go to church. In the Christmas season, we go to church on New Year's Eve, which is Emancipation Eve.
So wait a minute, wait a minute. Now y'all really confusing me. So what am I going through all this for this time of the year?
Christmas is only good to the haves. The have-nots, it can be a horrible time.
Oh, so
And that's why depression and suicide rates are high during that time.
So Ron, what do we need to tell preachers? Do we need to tell them to stop preaching this?
Well, if this commercialism keeps up and it just shines a spotlight on what you don't have.
I'm glad you got that S word right. I didn't know where you was going with that song. I was gonna holler, cut! Reverend Coach, what were you gonna say?
We need to put the Christ back into Christmas.
How?
We need to creating new traditions, new customs that are family-oriented, that have
If
substance
he wasn't
to
born
them.
on the 25th, he never was in Christmas.
Oh, well.
I think the
You see what I'm saying?
No,
You admitted
Christmas,
you said he was
no,
not
I
born.
said, my question is with the 25th, which I have no question about, that he wasn't born there, but I don't have a question about even if Christ was born or not.
When was he born? There's usually a record of when somebody's
in the
born.
spring or in the fall.
Whoa, you mean to tell me I need to
Exactly.
be celebrating Christmas in May?
You
Is that
can,
what
if
you're
you
telling
choose
me?
to. If you choose to.
People need to don't throw out the cart
If you
with the
choose to.
horse. Don't reinvent the wheel. You've got the day, stick with it. If you are a Christian and you truly believe in the beautiful, emotional story of Jesus Christ, which is a beautiful story that impacts the human spirit, celebrate it. Don't just throw it out.
You're saying that it's not true? You said a story. Story means it's a lie.
Well, all religions, you have to suspend your belief at some point and go on faith.
Reverend, she's saying that this is a story. This is nothing true. Reverend, get in here. Don't look crazy.
Well, she's got
It's a beautiful story.
stunned down, you know.
Captivating.
You know, first of all, I have issue with the 25th because I know why the 25th was
She
chosen.
says it's a story.
Because
There's
that's
nothing
not a story.
valid to it.
No, there is validity to the story. There's great validity. There's record of
That's
the.
Khari, not me. I said it's a beautiful story.
There's great validity.
You confirmed what I
It
just
is.
said.
There's great validity to the story. But December 25th
Did
was
Jesus
chosen.
live?
Yes, he did.
When?
Jesus lived 2,000 years ago.
No. What date was he born and what date did he
He was
die?
born sometime in the spring or sometime in the fall.
No, Reverend, that's not
But
good
what
enough.
you're doing is you're letting commercialism wash over it, and it's becoming something else, an involvement. And we don't know with social media how it evolved.
You know, it
again.
seems that we are celebrating something that we don't know enough about, and that's scary. That's scary, Reverend Coates.
But the information.
Or that we've forgotten about.
Yeah, exactly.
That's scary, Reverend Coates.
But that's enough for some
the
people.
information is there. There's been strong Christmas traditions that have been Christ-centered. But what happened is that
Tell you
Madison
what.
Avenue has come along and we washed over it.
The hidden meaning of Santa Claus. Uh-oh. Up next on Khari, Free at Last. Welcome back to Khari, Free at Last. Oh, I love to say that. Where did the idea of Santa come from? One cannot help but notice the spelling of Santa is nearly similar to the name of an individual in the Bible associated with evil. Hey, that was good. Joining me is TalkTamerRadio.com host and author Donella Martin Braddox, the Ron Mills, and the Reverend John Coates. Santa. Sounds eerily, spelled eerily like Satan. Is there a reason for that,
He does wear a
Ron?
red suit and then the boots.
Yeah, the only thing you don't have is a pitchfork.
And I know people will get upset because you're talking about paganism, but in 1821, there was a poem called The Night Before Christmas that Americanized Santa. He's on the roof. He's magical. He has these magic reindeer. He lives in the North Pole. I don't know if he ever dies, but he brings gifts to children. He can even read your mind. He knows when you're good, when you're bad. So you've linked another pagan. You made him and linked him to Christmas.
He's a combination of several different characters.
Wait a minute. Is Santa bigger than Jesus now?
He might be the kids.
Is he bigger than Jesus?
If you don't teach your kids, he is.
I see more Santa. I see more. When I go in places, I see
Right.
more pictures of Santa than I see of Jesus at Christmas time. Tell me I'm
Again,
wrong.
Christians are bad advertisers. I keep
Tell
saying
me I'm
that.
wrong, Reverend.
Well, you see a lot of crosses out there, too.
Reverend, your people are losing the battle.
Yes.
We have got to step this thing up, man. You cannot allow Ron Mills and Donnell Braddocks, who are
Because I got aunts that are missionaries and I got uncles that are
I didn't say they were pagans.
I grew up in a Christian home.
Look, the Catholic Church, in their digest over a year ago, stated that America is now mission territory, meaning that Christian missionaries need to come from foreign countries into the United States to try to get the natives saved again.
Look, man, they don't even want to say Merry Christmas anymore.
No.
They want to say Xmas.
You know,
or
but
they
your
wanna say
government,
holiday,
your government and the AFL-CIO and other groups try to push that they don't want you to be holiday-centered or Christ-centered.
How can Santa so Ron?
But this is a country built on religious
telling me
freedom.
that Santa then has become like a Christ-like figure of consumerism?
Absolutely. In Japan, you will actually see people in an effort to be Americanized and show Christmas.
in Japan. That's the reason why
and have Christmas traditions. You will see pictures of Santa Claus on a cross.
Oh, my God.
Whoa.
And if that doesn't
Again.
tell you right there, now whose fault is that?
Right.
You have to blame it on America because that is the vision of Christmas that America has given to the world, that, hey, it's about Santa Claus, a jolly red elf, you know, who's an amalgamation of many different characters
Ron,
and
what's the
historical
hidden
figures.
meaning of Santa? What does Santa really mean?
He had a dark side, and he's evolved. He had a makeover.
Well, I got a dark side, too. Look
But
at
he had a makeover in 1821 because nobody would accept the other side of him. And
What, he started out as an evil man?
Santa Claus was not always a good person.
Well, what did he do?
He started out as, he's a combination of the Norse god Odin,
Right.
who flies through the skies and
pagan
punishes
god.
bad people. A combination of the hearth gods that, you know, they came through the chimneys
Right.
and gave gifts to the families who had done well all
Give 'em
year.
back to the pagan
There's also
holidays.
Father Christmas, who was a drunk, who was a celebrated
England.
drunk, and had the
He beat
sidekick.
children, too, am I right?
Yeah, he would. Again, bad children would get beat.
And he had a horned sidekick who,
Right.
ironically,
Who's
is
a goat.
symbol
It looked like a demon.
goat, right? Who's
Yeah.
a symbol of someone who's
wait a minute, hold
rejected
on.
But
Christianity.
even in examining the history of this mythical character,
What are we
Santa Claus,
celebrating
you
here?
even leave out the example of St. Nicholas,
I was getting to the end,
who was
Saint
who was
Nicholas,
a
yes.
bishop. And when you look at the current costume or uniform
healer.
of Santa Claus, is that of a Roman Catholic bishop.
Wait a minute.
But as
Y'all,
Ron
hold on for a
said,
minute.
with the
Hold
commercialism-
on, Donnella. Y'all scaring me. Y'all scaring most of us. What are we celebrating?
We don't know. Commercialism at this point, if they don't step up their game as far as Christians and move to put definitely the true meaning of Christmas back in Christmas, it will evolve into something that we don't even
So
recognize.
Santa Claus is a symbol of commercialism, greed,
Oh,
etc.
yes.
Is that what you're telling me?
Consumption,
yes.
Of evil. Is that right?
Oh, certainly.
Wow.
Because you have people that spend beyond
We
their
are worshiping
means.
evil at the
well,
Christmas season?
if you're spending beyond your means, that's evil. If not being able to spend during the season causes depression
Yeah, and it does.
suicide to come
Exactly.
on you, that's evil.
And then
That's not
you
good.
look at the trends for January and stuff. People's heat, their gas is cut off because they tried to make that Norman Rockwell Christmas.
Because they've all spent all
yeah,
that
they
money.
spent all that money and make the kids happy, and now you don't have anything.
If this is true, Donnella Braddocks, what must we do at this time of the year?
We have to really ask ourselves, what are we celebrating? We need to determine for for ourselves what's truly important. We need to not fall victim to the commercialism, like the Target commercials with the shiny, happy people with all the gifts, and then you see the commercials with a car, you know, with a big bow on it, and all of these unattainable things.
We don't want to name a company.
She is painting a picture, though.
We love Target, so we ain't trying to do that. Ron, Ron, what do we teach our children?
First of all, I would go back to the true meaning of Christmas. I would teach them the truth, that it was that day was chosen. It was a pagan holiday. It was advertising. Because that's what they had to go on. That was the most popular thing.
Reverend Coach, what do we teach the church?
We teach the church that Jesus Christ was born to die to save mankind. We teach the church that Jesus' birth was so important that the establishment wanted to take him out.
But if you can't name the date he was born and the date he died, he doesn't become a real figure.
That is maybe in your mind.
Oh,
okay?
in anybody's mind.
No, that's a personal problem.
Did he walk the earth according to your theory?
Oh, most certainly.
But you can't tell me when.
You asked me when the birth was. There's a question about the birth date.
Can you tell me when you were born?
But there's less of a question about the birth, the death date.
Can you tell me when you were born, Reverend John Coach? Yes, you can.
My grandmother didn't have a birth certificate. We couldn't tell you when he was born. We had to guess.
There's several people.
My great-grandmother.
All right. Yeah, buddy.
Yeah, buddy.
The pressure is on.
Yes, it is.
Up next, Khari, free at last. Welcome back to Khari, Free at Last. The massive pressure is on to spend big money during the Christmas season. Should I get caught up in a spending frenzy or celebrate Christmas in a spirit-filled manner? Joining me is TalkTainmentRadio.com host and author Donella Martin Braddock's, Ron Mills, also an author, and the Reverend John Coates. Listen, I'm confused. It reminds me of a line from that movie Color Purple when what's that Seeley said, I'm confused, I'm confused. Now, how should I celebrate Christmas, Reverend Coates?
Well, I would certainly encourage black churches and churches in general is to go back to having services and celebrating Advent in order to bring Christ back into Christmas. Make it centered not on giving, but make it on being with family and the attributes
Should I
around
stop buying gifts, Reverend Coates?
Yes.
I should not buy any gifts at this time
If you can't afford it, no.
Ron, how should I celebrate? Or should I celebrate at all? What should I do, Ron?
I believe partly what Coach said, Reverend Coach, but when he said being with family.
Thank you,
Coach is okay.
Thank you, Dr. Mills.
When he said being with family, and now my first job as a social worker, he said being with family, and a lot of people will get together on Christmas Day and sit together, but if you were dysfunctional before, you've been dysfunctional now. And
with the presence of alcohol.
Yeah, you got alcohol.
But
what happened in 1965 is going to be pertinent
Ron,
today,
typical of a social
and you're going to fight about it.
You still haven't told me what to do.
You're going to fight about it.
Ron, what do I celebrate?
What I would do is I would celebrate the true meaning of Christmas.
Which is?
And that's when Christ was born. And that's the true meaning of Christmas.
Forget you.
Not the commercialism. Not the commercialism. I grew up in a Christian family.
You don't have to celebrate Christmas at all. Remember that Christmas was not even celebrated for 300 years after Christ's death. So you can still be a Christian and you don't have to celebrate Christmas. Make your own rules. Christianity is in your heart, not in your wallet.
She just said, make up your own Bible, Reverend Coach.
You know, wherever you are, just lift your hand towards Donella Martin Braddock right now.
But if Christmas is about the wallet and not the heart.
Is she right or wrong?
Yes. She's right to some degree that, yes, Christmas was not celebrated for 300 years.
Yes.
But let's put Christ in. We know what to celebrate now. We have a Christ to worship and to celebrate. So let's celebrate that Christ.
And what does that mean? How do I celebrate? So I stop buying Christmas trees. I stop running around because the pressure's on to spend the money. I resist the pressure and I fall on my knees and pray to God for strength and direction. Is that right?
Look, well, you know, and that's extreme. It is extreme. Yes. But if you're going to buy, at least spend those dollars within your community. If you're going to buy what you need. okay? Buy the things that you need. In my household, the way we grew up, my parents didn't have a lot of money, but that's when we got stocked up on our winter clothes or what have you during the Christmas season. That's when we got socks and underwears and gloves and coats.
We used to call those grandma gifts.
Yeah.
How do I put Christ back into Christmas, Reverend? You are the expert on this. How do I put Christ back into
Well,
Christmas?
first of all, you need to join yourself with an assembly of believers during the holiday so that we can remind each other what the true meaning of Christmas is, and that's Christ. Go to church. Have a church service. Go to church, first of all, because that's not done in mass.
Learn to
That's in the
love
black
each other.
community.
Is
Exactly.
that right?
Sure.
All humanity should love each other. Isn't that right, Ron?
I think so. The Christmas, originally, that's the thought about
Christ
it.
Mass, yeah.
So, hey.
You know, you almost sound like you're in a beauty pageant.
He is a typical social worker.
You like world peace too?
Typical social worker. Donnell, closing thoughts.
Closing thoughts are love each other, celebrate the spirit of Christ by having love in your home and teaching your children that it's not about what they receive, it's about the people they are inside.
And don't invent your own Bible, which is what you tell people to do.
Another pagan holiday.
Reverend Coates, and you sit here and allow her to do that. Thanks to TalkTaylorRadio.com, host Donnell Martin Braddock, Ron Mills, and Reverend John Coates. And thank you for watching Khari Free at Last.
She did it on her own.